Hello, my name is Annie Jackman. I'm from Hamilton, Ohio, and I'm applying for the Communication Design program for the Oxford campus. Why design? Ever since I can remember, I have had the urge to create things. My parents have always told me this story that when I was little, they could figure out what I had been up to based upon the collection of piles of projects I had been working on that were scattered throughout the house. Needless to say, I love to create. I have always been very interested in image, whether it was through drawing, painting, lettering, graphic design, or other creative processes. What appeals to me most about the profession of communication design is the impact on the world that a designer has. In our world, everything is about what you see, and as a designer, our designs can be shown to the world and have an effect on people. To me, picking a design field is like picking a favorite color. It's very hard. Although choosing is hard, I must say that I am mostly drawn to package and advertising design. These designs are closely related and depend on each other, since a product normally has some form of advertising on the label or cover. Call me gullible, but as a tactile learner, I am the type of person who would be more likely to buy a bag of chips if I liked the texture and design of the bag. Problem solving. A design problem that I and many other artists have to deal with is the problem with how most markers are designed. These are Papermate flare markers, which I love. However, they dry out quickly even though they haven't had a lot of use. After looking at the design of the markers, I noticed that the caps of these markers have small vents, which is a poor design decision. I would design airtight caps that would keep the marker cartridge saturated, even when they weren't in use, to decrease air exposure. With that small design alteration, these markers would last longer and consumers would be satisfied. Expressive typography. The first big assignment in this course was expressive typography, which objective was to choose 3 words that will literally express what the word means. The first word I chose was connect. For this word, I literally connected the letters to make it one continual path. I rotated some letters and placed them in different positions to maintain the continual connection between the letters. The next word I chose was overlap, in which I literally overlapped the letters. But the second layer of the word was bolded to emphasize the different layers of overlap, as well as bringing interest to the piece. The last word I chose was flexible. I played with the progressive rhythm of the literal letters, using varying letter size and curving lines. I wanted it to look like the word itself was flexible and moving in the wind. Mind map. The mind map exercise was interesting because I learned more about myself, my priorities, and how to organize a layout for a large amount of information in a way that dissects a big concept, so you can visually see the associations of small components within a broad topic. The process started with placing my name at the center and branching off with various topics that relate to me. I included the aspects of me that are very important, such as my faith, family, music, and design. For my design process, I chose color to create categories, hierarchy of the size to emphasize the main categories, and font to differentiate from the main categories. The mind map led to the next assignment, which were personal icons. My process for the icons begins with choosing 3 topics from the mind map that would be transformed into icons. The topics I chose were outdoors and pets, my faith, and art. The guidelines were that the icons should be personal, simple, have a consistent style and complexity, and be clearly recognizable. An added guideline I gave myself was that each icon had to utilize the shape of the button nicely, since I was designing for the button. My inspiration for the pets icon comes from my cat Diesel and our 2 family dogs, Daisy and Isidore. My thumbnails for this icon concept were variations of dogs and cats. I chose the cat that was curled up in a ball since it is an illustration of my own cat Diesel, who often likes to cuddle on my lap in this way. My next icon concept was my faith, which is Catholicism. I especially chose this concept because it is very personal to me and plays a huge role in my life. I am often inspired by the beauty of Catholic sacred art. The sketches for this concept started out very cliché, which I did not like. I wanted to represent my personal relationship with God through my icon design in a way that was unique to Catholicism, which is why I chose the image of the Sacred Heart. My next icon concept was art. Like I said before, I experiment with many kinds of art, but my top three are drawing, lettering different typefaces, and painting. In my thumbnails, I wanted to show the materials I use for each of these art mediums. After eliminating cliche designs, I found that the bottom left icon really caught my eye because of the unusual composition. So after iterating it further, I got the bottom right icon. I was happy with the final three icons because I felt that they fulfilled the guidelines and had a consistent circular shape to utilize the space of the button. But to unify the buttons more, I added movement lines around each image to show action. A cat purring, a heart beating, and a paint set swirling. To emphasize my traditional personality, I chose the classic primary triadic color scheme. This color choice also unified my buttons. I then brought my sketches onto Illustrator and created the final icon set and printed out the pages to use for making the buttons. These are my finished 3 buttons laying on a sheet of white paper to show their shadow and dimension. I learned the most about design from this exercise. It definitely heightened my problem-solving skills, and because I learned so much from this project, I use the same theme of the buttons for my video design, as you can see in the repetition of the 3 circles and the triadic color scheme. Through this course, I have learned that it is very important to know who you are and to know your process as a designer. I also learned about the multiple intelligence model known as PACES, which stands for Practical, Analytical, Creative, Emotional, and Social Intelligence. Using this model, I was able to identify my strengths and become aware of areas that could be even better. For practical intelligence, I have great time management and motivation. For analytical intelligence, I am very detail-driven and conscious about my design decisions. For creative intelligence, I am good at brainstorming and generating new ideas. For emotional intelligence, I am able to relay and explain emotions through my designs. For social intelligence, I am great with collaborating with others, especially those that share my passion for design. Final thoughts. I feel that with a career in communication design, I could accomplish my dreams of using my creative talent and see the hard work pay off in the satisfaction of the client, as well as making a positive change in the world. I am so excited to learn more about communication design and become a better designer. I hope this video gave you a better idea of who I am, why I choose design, what my design process is like, and why I am an asset to this program. Thank you.